And so we are on to the bye week where we currently stand at 4-1 on the season. We got that one blip against the New York Giants, but we gotten ourselves back on track. And like I said, we're 4-1. We got some weekly awards. Well, we got one weekly award for Ashton Genty, who had a crazy breakout game, 32 carries, 206 rushing yards for 6.4 yards a carry, 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 catch for 12 yards that just so happened to go for a reception TD. So a massive game for Ashton Genty, but not just a massive game for Ashton Genty, but a massive game for multiple players this prior week. Multiple rookies. Well, Travis Hunter had a breakout game as a rookie, the biggest game yet so far on this season. Now I think I can say I've had better offensive games with Travis Hunter, but this one all around, his offensive performance combined with his defensive performance. Again, it was a breakout game for defensive end Amari Barno, who went nuts. I believe he had, what did Barno have? I think Barno had 3 sacks. I think it was Kyron Johnson who ended up having 5 sacks. But it was a breakout game for Barno. He got his dev trait upgrade. But you would have thought it was a breakout game for Travis Hunter, the way Travis Hunter went crazy. And like I said before, I don't normally do my training anymore. I stopped doing that last season once I got to my extra focus players. Only reason I'm showing my training now currently is because we're on a bye week and there's nothing really else to do on the bye week. And of course, the first person up would be Travis Hunter. But like I said, he had a monster game. You would have thought it was a breakout game for Travis Hunter, the way he went crazy, as he had 3 catches for, I think it was 122 yards, and all 3 catches went for touchdowns. But on top of that, he ended up having 4 interceptions that went for a total of 154 yards in return, with one of them being a pick 6. So an extraordinary performance for Travis Hunter. And if Madden, and I hope they fix this in the future, not just with Madden, but college football as well. But if Madden tallied up if Madden kept both the offensive and defensive statistics for players that play two-way, I'm pretty sure Travis Hunter would have ended up being AFC Offensive Player of the Week and AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Well, no, because Ashton Genty easily was Offensive Player of the Week. He wasn't beating that. But with the performance that Travis had, he should have easily been AFC Defensive Player of the Week. But because he's not designated as both a offensive and defensive player, he's only designated as a receiver, so they're only going to count his receiving numbers, which sucks because no other defensive player had a performance like Travis Hunter had in the last week of the season. 4 interceptions for 154 total yards in returns with a pick 6. On top of the fact that he had 3 catches for 122 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. And he's on pace to win Rookie of the Year without question. Offensive Rookie of the Year for sure. But I will say, Genty, the way Genty has been coming along, Genty has been going crazy here recently, and he's giving him a run for his money. We'll see. I'm pretty sure right now Travis Hunter has the edge in that category. But Genty's making his case for the AFC, or not just the AFC, but the Offensive Rookie of the Year in general for the entire league. So I couldn't ask for a better start for both of those guys. Yeah, I knew they'd be great for my system if I can get both of them, which thankfully I was able to acquire that number 1 overall pick from the Panthers. And the Panthers, it's not like we fleeced the Panthers or anything, because if anything, one could argue they probably would have thought that I got fleeced because I gave up Max Crosby, who's a beast, who's a monster right now and continues to go crazy. And I also gave up Devontae Adams for and a future first round pick at that for their number one overall pick and Amari Barno, which ended up being a replacement for the players that I shipped out because I shipped out Adams at receiver. I shipped out Max Crosby at defensive end. I acquired their first overall pick and drafted Travis Hunter at receiver, but he's not even just a receiver. He's a receiver and cornerback. Then I got Amari Barno to replace Max Crosby. So they're doing well too. It's benefiting them as we speak over there in Carolina because he went, I think he might have won one game that first season. I can't even remember. He might have won one game. If he won any at all. And now he's currently, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's undefeated right now. So he's on a roll. It's obviously benefiting him and it's benefiting us as well. Now it's time to develop our young O-line. We got two offensive linemen that we're developing right now, and Xavier Truss. Actually, I think we just developing Xavier Truss right now as far as the focus player for our training. And Xavier Truss has been coming through clutch as well because he's a starter and he's been holding up his own, obviously, because Ashton Jeanty has been having a great last few games. He started off a little slow to begin the year, but it wasn't necessarily like it was his fault. It was just the focus of the offense was really just on passing and Travis Hunter and those receivers. But the last few games, we've been shifting that focus towards Ashton Jeanty, trying to build up not just Ashton Jeanty himself, but that O-line. We want to build that O-line up. And right now, Truss is one of the only young offensive linemen we have. We also have Beltran, which I don't think Beltran is starting right now because of the players that are ahead of him. But we're going to use this season as well as the next season to build and develop our young offensive line core, because eventually eventually the current starters are going to become free agents and we got to let them walk. So we want to make sure that the players behind them are ready to take the reins, and when we go to play these user games, we're not getting our head knocked off by the guys that love to blitz all day. So flipping to the defensive side, we're showing some attention to the defensive side of the ball. Kyron Johnson has been going crazy. Like I said, getting lost in the shuffle of the last game with Ashton Jeanty's performance of the 32 carries for 206 yards. The Travis Hunter performance for the 3 catches, 122 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 picks, 1 for a pick 6. Amari Barno having his breakout game with the 3 sacks, getting his dev upgrade. We can't overlook Kyron Johnson, who had a huge, massive game himself with 5 sacks. He was uncontainable in that game against the Broncos. And keep in mind, this was a user opponent at that. And be honest with you, Kyron Johnson wasn't even the only defensive player that had a epic performance that game. Even Lewis Seen got in on the action with a couple of interceptions. So I think it was Forbes. I think it was Forbes or Farley. It might have been Farley that got 2 interceptions. I don't know, but the interceptions was crazy that game. We balled out as an overall team, but defensively, we had quite a few players that came to play. They showed up, they showed out, and Kyron Johnson was one of them. 5 sacks, and oh my God, he lit Jeanty up and make him pop the ball out right there. But Kyron Johnson was 5 sacks, and then he's had a great stretch to start the year. I've been focusing on getting, oh my God, Jesus. We've been focusing on highlighting Kyron Johnson and Amari Barno coming off the edges this season so we can build them up. And they haven't disappointed. They haven't disappointed not one bit. Shiloh has been putting in work himself. Shiloh's been another person who's been showing up and showing out, and he's a rookie himself and also a focus player in training. So it's been a great season so far. Everybody who's a focus player has been key to all of our games that we've played thus far and shown justification of why we would take them in the draft. Some as high as we did. Like I said, we took Travis Hunter, number 1 overall. We took Ashton Genty, number 5 overall. We took Xavier Truss. What pick did we have with Xavier Truss? I think we were 30 when we took Xavier Truss. I can't remember for sure, but they've all been showing out. But I'm so excited for what Amari Barno is going to bring, because once we develop him where we need him to be and have him coming off that edge with Chop Robinson, and then you got Byron Young that we've been developing also, this is going to be a scary defense. This is going to be a scary, formidable defense. And like I said, we went to the AFC Championship last season and came up just short. You know, we were in that neck and neck game against the Texans and ended up losing connection. Then both me and the Texans agreed to a fair sim, and we lost that fair sim. We're trying to come back and not only get back to the AFC Championship, but we're trying to advance to the Super Bowl as well and hopefully contend for that title. We got our last focus player for the week. It is Shiloh Sanders. The goal is to get my guy his gold and get out of here. Complete the training for the week and just wait on advance. Wait for everybody else to complete their games in advance. Look at Mickens go up there and get that ball. That's been another silent key contributor on defense is Mickens. Mickens has been coming through clutch. Our safety group has been looking solid so far. Between Lewisine, Shiloh Sanders, and Mickens, it's been great. Right now, this training session isn't looking too good for us right now, with them getting 2 completions on us, 1 for a touchdown. I need them to man up and do something so Shiloh can get this gold. But Shiloh has definitely been coming along. He's another one who started off a little slow, and now here over the last couple of games has been picking up speed as of late. So come on, get that. Give me the So yeah, it's been a great season so far. Outside of that one loss, and I don't even look at that one loss as a terrible loss, because if that's what it looks like when we're going up against what the best the league has got to offer, then I'm looking forward to see what this season brings. It's been a great development process so far. Like, y'all seen the whole journey. If you've watched this whole rebuild, y'all have seen this whole journey where we started from scratch. The players we picked up initially out of free agency, what we've done. I mean, for crying out loud, Malik Willis was a whole 63 overall, and now he's an X factor, going crazy. Already got an MVP for the first season. Already helped develop Quez Watkins to an X factor. And the offense is just high power now. Now we got even more weapons for Malik Willis. We've developed quite a few people into X factors. We got even Pitts is an X factor now. Bowers is, I believe, an X factor. If he's not an X factor, he's a superstar. And now we got these rookies coming in, balling out, doing work, and I'm sure their traits should be up there. But like I said, it's just been fantastic. It's been fantastic. We got gold with all of our focus players for the week. We normally get gold with all our focus players. We just sim it because it would take too much time. As you can see, this whole episode is we're at nearly 14 minutes from the training, so you can see how long the other episodes would be. But we're gonna go ahead and cut it right there. Next episode, we'll be back with the following week once we advance. Again, if you're here for the first time or you're returning and you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with not only this Raiders rebuild, but more Madden 25 content as well. As always, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time,